Hi, everybody. Welcome to Jack Robertson Arena on the campus of Coastal Alabama South as we get ready for a Thursday night of basketball. We've got a twin billing. It is Southern Union taking on Coastal Alabama South, and we got two different versions of these squads, the male version and the female version. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage as the ladies step to the mid part of the floor, and with the tip controlled by Coastal, you've got your basketball underway. And speaking of Coastal South, your five starters: Janice Atchison, Denver Arnold, Marley Sullivan, Brooklyn Phillips, and Kalasia Robinson. And for Southern Union, it is Takeria Tucker, Takariana Mosley, Kayla Perry, Zariah Fannin, and Carmen Bridges. And the opening possession of the game, a productive one for Coastal South, dropping in the three ball. Pull-up jumper, Perry. Off the rim, Atchison with a rebound. Both teams coming in with losing streaks. Both would like to snap it. Hoping only one does. And that being the Lady Coyotes from Coastal South. Losers of 4 in a row. 7 straight losses for Southern Union. Loose ball retrieved by Perry. Fed down low and dropped in for 2 by Bridges. And it is a 1-point ball game. Both teams 0-2 in the conference, but there is a long way to go before conference play wraps up. As a matter of fact, a total of 14 games played as far as the conference goes, and 2 in the books. So, yeah, there's plenty of time to turn things around. Arnold with a miss. Sip to Perry on the opposite side of the floor, Atchison defending. And you got to walk. A step taken before the ball was on the floor by Tucker. Check that by Mosley. And it will be Coyote basketball. Coyotes the opening bucket, and thus far it has stood the test. Still got the lead. Compliments of the bucket. Phillips coming out of the corner. Arnold putting it on the floor. Sends it down low to Sullivan. And it'll go out of bounds, and apparently Sullivan hit in the process and in the act of shooting. Marley Sullivan averaging a little better than 4 points per game, a 53% free throw shooter. On a team that's third best in the conference in shooting the free throws. And a team clip of just under 67%. And you got a foul on the opposite end of the floor. As down went Tucker. And now it was Tucker at the stripe, trying to put a pair in. Draws back to a 1-point game. Tucker with similar numbers as Sullivan, who is at the stripe on the other end of the floor. Averaging right at 5 a game, and the free throw percentage similar to at 57%. Well, and a pair of 50% free throw shooters, not shabby. Both go 2 for 2. Sullivan on one end, Tucker on the other. Arnold putting up the 3 ball. She'll drop it in. Arnold, very prolific at the threes. And as a matter of fact, this Coyote team has got 3 top 5 3-point shooters in the conference. Stolen away by Phillips, other end of the floor. Arnold had the three. I don't know if you call it the old-fashioned way. It's been around so long now, but the other way. And now a chance for three. Yes, the old-fashioned way. Well, the free throw shooting early has been very good for both teams. And the Coyotes with a 7-point lead. Out front to give. That is Serena Harney into the game. Harney with a miss. Trying to get the putback was Bridges. Adjusum on the other end of the floor. Phillips back to Adjusum. In the corner, Arnold. Arnold with the air ball on the three try. Stolen away by Adjusum. Outside of the arc, Phillips joining in the three parade. And the Coyotes quickly building a double-digit lead at the 6:15 mark.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone, because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama.
Well, there's a dynamic duo. AD and all the Coastals, Daniel Head. Coach Brown, who used to be a coach at Coastal Alabama North, now in Southern Union. Chatting in the stands at Jack Robertson Arena. A little too much on the toss for Bridges, but it goes all out off Sullivan. Robinson coming out of the game, checking into the lineup for the Coyotes. That is Makia Evers. Harney putting up the three, rebounded by Phillips. Harney to the other end of the floor. Into the paint, off the glass. And dropping in the two is Fannin. Gets it back inside double digits, single digit lead, 8-point advantage for the Coyotes. Couple of games tonight, the men to follow. And great to have you watching on YouTube. You might have gone to our website to watch. But that means you're still watching it on YouTube. That's the media player of choice. And you know we need and want and desire more subscribers to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Trying to grow the community. Needs to be a big community. Right now it's kind of a small community at about 5,500. I mean, you know how it is, just like with any community. Bigger community, more amenities. Fannin for three, off the rim. Adjusum with a board. Arnold wide open for the three, off the rim, and then got part of the framework that holds up the goalpost. That is out of play. And it'll be Southern Union basketball. After the Arnold steal, you've got a foul committed by Hardy. And will be brought in from the near sidelines. Well, I'm not sure whether iSchool Sports is rebroadcasting our feed tonight. We will when this series moves to Wadley, Alabama. But if we are, welcome aboard, iSchool viewers. Great to work with Adam Slay. I like the relationship. It's not competitive. It's, hey, what can we do for you? And Adam's like, no, what can we do for you? Off the rim with a three try from Naisha Davis. Put in play from the corner. Bison to do it. Big game going on tonight up north that'll affect the division, and that is the matchup between Shelton State and Wallace Hansville. And that will have a huge impact on the standings both in men's and women's basketball. That's what you call jamming it, Maya Griffin. Freshman averaging about a point a game. And you got to be fairly tall to take care of that matter, and you got a fairly tall guy that did. Okay, maybe more than fairly, but very. Lost briefly in the corner by Atilia Lee, who is checked into the lineup. Back into the corner to Lee, shoots the three off the rim. Rebound belonging to Randria Wilcher. There's a three. Wilcher. And all of a sudden, 8 straight. And we got the Bison knocking on the door. It was 14-4. It is 14-12. That'll go out of bounds in the corner off the Bison. Here comes Sullivan back into the game for the Coyotes. Camry Boozer checking into the lineup for the Bison. Arnold trying to put it into the run. Sullivan had it, lost it, tips it back onto the floor to Phillips. Out front, Griffin given to Arnold. That is Robinson who checks back in, and you get the jump ball that will keep us on this end of the floor. Opening stanza. Halftime. Daniel Hand, the AD, and all the Coastals will be our feature. There's the second Phillips three. Snaps and ain't no run by the Bison. Wilcher, who popped a three moments ago, throws it away. Griffin able to come up with a loose ball. Feeds to Phillips. Sullivan, she's got 2 more. 4 in the game for Sullivan. And the foul on front. Griffin committing the foul. I believe it was before the act of shooting began. So no bucket and brought in from the baseline. Hardy goes into the corner. Off the rim with a Davis three. And it will belong to the Coyotes with less than 2 to play in stanza number 1. Griffin Why not? Everybody else is. Griffin for three. Down low to Boozer. Sullivan coming up with a loose ball. Gives it to Phillips. Sent to Arnold. Backs it beyond the arc. Fires the three. And there you go again. From the top of the key. Hardy dropping in the three ball. I don't have access to live stats. The memory is fading, but I think it is safe to say most field goals have been of the three-point variety. Wilcher to Hardy. Off the mark. Robinson with a board. The number 5 rebounder in the conference. Tipped out of bounds by Lee. In play to Adjusum. Off the rim. Adjusum with a board. From the charity stripe. Yeah, the Coyotes may have put together their biggest quarter of the year. And not quite over yet. Jump ball, possession arrow. Keeps it on this end. Ten seconds on the game clock. None on the shot. Wilcher from outside of the paint. Adjusum. Lost control, able to get it back and hits it. Wow. What a quarter for the Coyotes. 29 in the stanza, finished off by the Adjusum three. Coyotes with their biggest lead going into quarter number 2 at 14.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
The highest offensive output of the year for the Coyotes was against Delgado when they put 71 on the board. Now, I'm not real good with the math, but I'm thinking 71 is between 15 and 20 a quarter. And the Coyotes put 29 on the board in the first. Definitely got a shot at their best night of the year. That is Fannin. Long two, just a little bit too long. Arnold with the rebound. And let's see if the Coyotes can keep this torrent pace up. Down low, trying to get it to Sullivan. Taken away by Bridges. Tucker in the corner, bringing it baseline to Bridges. That is Perry. Off on the three try, and one of the best in the business, Robinson with the rebound. Give it to Arnold. Screen set by Robinson. Bridges. Arnold with 6 on the shot clock, and there is an offensive foul charged to Arnold. And it will be Bison basketball. Well, at least that possession, the Bison playing much tighter defense outside of the arc. And the Coyotes did not get a decent look. Stolen away by Anderson, and then she'll dribble it out of bounds. Coyotes a nice home record, 5-2. They are 4-4 against Alabama teams. And that is both divisions, 1-2. And of course in the conference, 0-2. Losing to Shelton State and a heartbreaker to Bishop State. Missed by Phillips. And two, when you look at Coastal South, 4 overtime games, of which they lost 3 of the 4. So you win those OT games in regulation or in OT. And instead of a 7-10 mark, you were looking at a 10-7 record. So these Coyotes looking for the breaks tonight after not necessarily getting them, especially in those OT games, the 1-point game to Bishop State. First points of stanza number 2 come 2 minutes and 15 seconds in. Perry, a 65% free throw shooter. 1 of 2, rebounded by Tucker. She'll get the putback. And there was a timeout on the floor asked for by the Coyotes. Jack Robertson Arena, Bay Minette, Alabama, on the campus of Coastal Alabama South. Some folks enjoying their music and their basketball and their iPhone. Of course, who doesn't enjoy the iPhone, right? I mean, we must. It now occupies more time than any. Griffin will throw it out of bounds. Out front it goes to Mosley. Anderson and Griffin trying to track it and her down. Loose ball. Sullivan up with it. Gives over to Anderson. Leans in. Coyotes still looking for the first field goal of the second stanza. It'll be Perry going the other way with it. Got bumped. And the bump is going to turn into a Coyote foul. It'll be Griffin with a foul. Southern Union, the number 6 team in the conference in free throw shooting percentages at 66. Robinson and Phillips back into the game. Griffin and Sullivan will go out for the Coyotes. Fannin with a miss. And the Coyotes, who could do little wrong in the opening stanza, still looking for their first points in quarter number 2. That is Perry for 3, an air ball. And it'll be Coyote basketball. Faith Brown checking into the lineup. And it'll be Perry coming out for the Bison. Drive and a blocking foul, and Jesum will shoot. That is Tucker picking up the personal. And Jesum is the number 2 three-point shooter percentage-wise in the conference. Drive to the glass, and that'll be dropped in by Faith Brown. Brown just checking into the lineup. And presence fell immediately. Phillips trying to break the ice, still field goal free in quarter number 2 of the Coyotes. Have a point, compliments of the free throw. Arnold to put it in play from the baseline, does to Phillips. And Jesum to Arnold. Arnold for 2, short. And that is going to be a foul called on the Bison, specifically Fannin. Just trying to block out Phillips. And got a little too much hip action. Into the corner, open is Arnold. In and out on the 3. Fannin into the paint, nice block by Evers. Out of bounds, and it will belong to the Bison, but the block by Evers. Keeping points off the board. In play to Wiltshire. Fannin feeding down low. Wiltshire giving to Harding. Off the rim, and Jesum grabs it. And Jesum. Sullivan giving to Robinson. Phillips with it. Arnold with it. And Jesum with 4 on the shot clock. Arnold's got to shoot. Does. Nibbles the rim. And it'll go out of bounds off Robinson. Halfway through the stanza. And still no Coyotes second quarter field goal. There's Fannin with a two-pointer. And what was 14 trimmed in half. Now a 7-point lead. Got a jump ball, and we will go to the other end of the floor. Wiltshire giving it back to Hardy. Another three. This is Fannin, and it's a 4-point game. Down the floor to Sullivan, opposite side to Robinson. Missed the shot, has a chance for free throws. So Robinson, a pretty good free throw shooter at 72%. But misses the first. 29 in the first and 1 thus far in the second. That's the point total for the Coyotes. And you got a foul on Phillips. Reached in, trying to take it away from Brown, and picked up the personal. Fan into the paint. Brown got fouled by Sullivan, hit the bucket anyway. And it is safe to say the Bison are right back into the game. Robinson with the rebound off the miss. The offensive charge to Arnold. So it is Bison basketball with an opportunity to tie it or take the lead. As it is thrown out of bounds. Well, as hot as the Coyotes were in the opening stanza, they have gone that cold in quarter number 2. Tipped, and Phillips legal to go backcourt to retrieve. That is Anderson. Down low to Sullivan. Trying to bank it, got a shot clock violation. Here comes Hammers back into the game for the Coyotes. And Sullivan will come out. Well, as I mentioned, Daniel had at halftime. And halftime 3 minutes away, and the Bison take their first lead at the 2:50 mark in half number 1. Foul called on Wiltshire. Put in play to Arnold. From the top side, Anderson with a miss. Fannin grabbing the rebound. Sent down the floor. Anderson nearly took it away. Fannin gets it. Off the rim with a 3 try. Brown getting it back. Tips it over to Hardy. Dips the 3 in and out. There is the first second quarter field goal. And the Coyotes went nearly 8 minutes without a field goal. But it gives the Coyotes the lead back. In and out for Wilcher. Taken away by Adjusum. Into the paint. And you got a walk. Sullivan back in. And Evers will come out of the game for the Coyotes. Sullivan, a Washington County product from Chipley. Chipley produced Amp Lee. If you go back as far as I do, Amp Lee is a name that's very familiar. I think FSU and then, what was it, maybe the 49ers? And had a pretty good NFL career. Ripped away by Robinson, gives it over to Arnold. Right at a minute to go in the half. Turnaround, Robinson 2, not there. Sullivan had it, swatted away, but out of bounds. And the Coyotes will keep it. Lee coming in, out will go Tucker for the Coyotes. Arnold to put it in play for the baseline. Phillips with a miss. Brown the board. Hardy is hit. And Adjusum did it. And that is the 5th Coyote foul in the corner, putting Hardy at the stripe. Last Southern Union win happened on the first day of December when they knocked off Andrew College. In the conference, losses to Bishop State and Calhoun. Adjusum drawing a lot of attention, able to get rid of it to Arnold. Less than a half minute to play in the stanza. There's a bump by Hardy. And that'll be the 5th Bison foul. Sending Arnold to the stripe. A 71% free throw shooter. One of 2 double-digit scores for the Coyotes. Arnold averaging 10. Phillips averaging 11. Well, check that. And you got Adjusum with 13. So 3 scoring in double digits for the Coyotes. Easy 2 on the other end of the floor to Wilcher. Half winding down. Arnold short on the 3 try, rebounded by Lee, and that has got us to halftime. Coyotes win quarter number 1, and the quarter number 2 victory goes to the Bison. And as a result, at halftime, it is a mere 1-point game. Well, I mentioned our halftime guest is Daniel Head, the AD of all the Coastals Here is that chat with Daniel. Time for another conversation with the AD at all the Coastals, Daniel Head. Coach, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Robert. Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having me on again. And, we're excited about the 2025 version of the Coastal Alabama Coyotes.
Amen. A happy New Year to you as well. And by the way, I noticed, I'm sorry, I just can't not refer to you as coach every now and then. So, you're a longtime coach, now AD, but occasionally it slips on me.
Well, I have worked my way back. I'm now the third assistant for my son's T-ball team. Mainly, my job is to make sure I've got everybody in line in the dugout to come up to bat, and I keep the scorebook some. So, I still got it in me. The 5-6-year-old. That's about what probably the level I needed to be coaching at. For years, I tricked some college kids for a while, but I've got down to the level that I'm probably more destined for now.
Well, I'm not sure if I agree with that, but congratulations on your new job, coaching wise.
Thank you.
By the way, all right, let's talk about basketball first, because we're really coming into the most significant part of the season now. And though this might be played, later in the month, we are recording at the 1st of January. So let's talk about conference play where the Coyotes are concerned. Coastal South, Coastal North. Really, it looks like, all of them are looking good coming out of non-conference to conference play.
Well, we really feel good about our basketball programs and our coaches that we have running those programs. They've done a great job this year and all season getting their teams ready to go. We have our Division I program in Bay Minette. The Division I conference season starts actually Thursday night. They begin conference play Thursday night, and we host Shelton State and women's and men's here in Bay Minette. So it'll be a good test coming out of the gate with Shelton State, who's been a perennial powerhouse in women and men's over the last decade or two, and so. But we're excited about the opportunity to go out and compete and start the conference season. And Coach Robertson and Coach Yelding have both played a really tough non-conference schedule to prepare their teams for the conference grind. And I feel strong about our programs and where they are. We got both teams are kind of in a rebuild and young, but they're junior college young doesn't mean anything because you got to get ready to play, and so they're ready, and we hope that that transfers onto the court and as we get going in conference.
I should have looked prior to coming on the air or doing this conversation with you, but I know since the renovation of Jack Robertson Arena, the losses have been few and far between, especially for the men's team. Have they even lost on their home floor?
Yeah, they've lost. They lost a couple games this year at home. They played some. They lost a tight game against Pensacola, and I think Pearl River right before Christmas. They had, it was a really good game, tight game, and but they've had a good season. We're really, Coach Robertson right now sitting at 8-4. In the non-con, and then Coach Taylor, and they're 2-1 in conference in Division II in Monroeville. So they're sitting right there at the top of the standings. They got a big conference game Thursday night. Got Reed State, who's kind of the newer program, second year, but that we're right down the highway from each other, so it's kind of a little friendly rivalry and. Great chance to start the 2025 conference season with those guys Thursday night. And then Coach Armstrong also, they're undefeated, tied for first in conference. She's there. A lot of that team's back from last year's run, and she's brought some new kids in that have added value to the program. And we're excited about their season again, as they come off the defending ACC and South District champions.
As a matter of fact, I mentioned to Mandy, and last year's squad, obviously very good. They win the district and advance on towards the district championship. But I think this year's squad may be a better team than last year's for her.
I think they're more versatile. I think they're still trying to find their chemistry a little bit. They played really well there before Christmas. That was a great game. We've had, funny, we have the coastal teams. We have Coastal North and South, and we have a friendly rivalry. All of our coaches, they're peers. They have great relationships, but it is kind of cool when we get to play each other. And so they've both played a home and home in the non-conference, and both the women's games went in overtime, and both the home team won both overtime games. So that's been a really cool little rivalry there. And then the games between the men's games have been really, really intense and great games also. So it's been fun. That's the cool thing. Everybody's like, oh, you play each other. Well, we got good people in our organization that, we all, we understand and respect each other, and it's fun when they get a chance to compete against each other. And except for me, because, now I don't know whether to cheer for everybody or not cheer for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing where I'm kind of stuck on so I just kind of try to do the best I can to blend on those games.
To be neutral.
Yes.
Baseball, softball coming up at the end of the month. So we've got that time of the year where we're blending sports. And interesting concept where Coastal North is concerned, because Coach Griffin is calling it a career at the end of the year. Isn't it a little unusual to blend coaches, which I like it? I mean, to me, it kind of smooths that transition. But isn't that kind of an unusual concept?
It is. But that was something that, Dr. Milner, our president, really thought that would be the best path for us to move forward, to keep continuity with our organization. Bruton baseball has gone, those kids and that program they've been dealt a lot of adversity over the last few years, there with we had the consolidation and, the changeover. And then we had Coach Blevins and his passing, and it was just awful. And those kids went through that. And then we had an interim coach. Then we had another coach for one semester. And then Coach Griffin, came back to really an opportunity to give back to the program that he helped build, help build. And so we didn't want to lose that momentum, especially coming off the championship season last year. And we feel like we've got another solid team in place in Bruton this year. So the worst thing that could happen is, Coach Griffin retire at the end of the year, and then we go through a 2-month coaching search, and then you got players that may not want to come back or leave, and you have no continuity. And then the recruiting cycle, how can you recruit when you don't have a head coach that's going to be there? So this was a win-win for us. Right now, Coach Matt Collins is our new is going to be the head coach after the season, and he's been dynamic, hitting the ground running and recruiting hard. And he and Coach Griffin are the coaches there this year. He's the assistant. Coach Griffin's the head coach, and basically he's the associate head coach. They are working hand in hand. Coach Griffin's letting Coach Collins basically make all the decisions about the future of the program, facility, anything he wants to do, and then they're collaborating on how to be the best program they can be this year.
Going over to baseball in Coastal South, you've got Coach in his second year now there at Coastal South, and was right in the thick of things, about a couple of weeks out at the end of the season last year. So he's kind of already built up this level of expectation for Coastal South.
Yeah, J.D. Pruitt has done a great job. Last year, he took over a program there about a month before school started. That was kind of, we had a lot of our coach the year before knew before the end of the year that he wasn't going to be back. And that's kind of what we learned from, I'll be honest with you. We went through that situation. By the time we had someone hired, there was a 3 or 4 month gap. And it really, Coach Pruitt came in last year, and it was, we were trying to put a team together really fast. And they had a good year. They overachieved, in my opinion. They were in the top 2 of the conference for probably 3/4 of the conference season. Ended up finishing, I don't know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, and made the tournament, and then lost 2 one-run games to the 2 teams that were in the finals, and beat the number 2 seed on the first day, Snead State, that had been a perennial powerhouse. So I think he got some people's attention last year. So I'm sure they'll be coming after him. He won't be underestimated this year. So they'll probably get everybody's best bullet, and they need to be prepared. But I'm betting on them, and they've got a good looking group. They're young, 33 freshmen, but as I said, young doesn't mean anything in junior college. You got to get ready to play. Those guys you're going to have to count on those guys to win, and that's not going to be an excuse. And he knows that, and I know they're not going to make one. They're going to go out and get ready to play, and we're excited about that program.
Going over to softball, Coastal South. Let's start there. Coach Mallory Radwich, to me, has got one of the premier JUCO facilities, and she's put together one of the premier JUCO softball programs.
We will have one of the premier JUCO facilities in about a year. When we get our indoor facility built here in Bay Minette with their stadium and all that's nice. But what we're about to do with the indoor baseball, softball, and locker rooms and all that's going to be something that if you're a student athlete and are interested in coming to play baseball and softball, you want to check this out. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. This is, just from a player development standpoint, the things we'll have in there, and then the nice facilities to be able to work out of and maximize the resources to be successful. But Coach Radwich doesn't need any help. I mean, she's awesome. I mean, they've won. Last year they finished second place in the conference 3 years in a row. Before that, they were conference champions. They were runner up in the tournament the year before that. She's got I really liked her team this fall. Good group of kids. They play well together. So I'm excited about their 2025 season coming up, and I know they are as well.
And speaking of renovations, in my conversation with Dr. Milner, suggested there have been some improvements too at Coastal North in the softball facility there.
Absolutely. Every facility has had some version of an upgrade, and there are some that are still in the works. But we've gone in and done some things there with the softball facility, the dugouts, replaced all the boards and painted and lighting, and same thing to the cages. And, we've got our fields are in great shape. We just took on a new company that's managing our turf management. And they're doing a great job. Max Siebert out of Pensacola has done a great job. Our fields look like major league fields right now, and he's the reason for that. And he's actually an alumni, former coach at Bruton, and so it's kind of cool that we have a guy like that who's also a high level scout with the San Diego Padres at the major league level. So it's kind of cool that those things happen there. But we're the Bruton softball. I mean, the Monroeville softball. They came off a disappointing year last year after a run of 7, 8, 9, 10 years in a row of being in the tournament. That's going to happen over the course of time. Sometimes it's just not going to work. But they had a really nice fall. They got better every week as the fall went on, and Coach Childress is does a great job. She's been in coaching 25 years or more, and she knows how to win and knows what it takes to be successful. So we're proud of what we have there and are excited about their season coming up also.
We've got 90 seconds, actually about 60 seconds. So talk about the other sports that start this spring.
All right, we've got Monroeville tennis, men's and women's tennis, and they're in their second year. I think we're excited about the improvements from year 1 to year 2. They had a nice fall, and they're definitely better. We've already had our first sophomore sign a scholarship, and that's Craig Blevins, who's Darryl Blevins' son, who's actually a member of our Monroeville tennis team. It's cool. He's signed a scholarship to go on and continue his career and play college tennis at Blue Mountain College, and we're excited about that. And Coach Cowrie Allen, they've been to the national tournament the last 2 years and have fared well, and we're excited about I think they're better this year, so we're hopefully can have a chance to get over that hump for a state championship. And then we have men's and women's golf in Bruton. We're hosting our first golf tournament this spring in Bruton, and that's going to be a really cool thing for that community and that program. And then Lee Huggins down in Bay Minette, the golf program is back, and they're getting ready to go, and we're excited about this spring. So it's upon us. We have all of our sports rocking and rolling right now, and it's a busy next few months, but we embrace it and are excited about all the things we have going here at Coastal.
Coach, you and I will talk again soon. Great to have you as our halftime guest.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate all you do for Coastal Alabama, and go Yotes.
Well, the officials cutting halftime a little bit short, but you didn't miss anything. Well, I guess technically you missed something, about 10 seconds of play, but no buckets, no fouls, no turnovers, just part of a possession. And here we go with the Bison. Down by one. Trying to grab the lead. Fannin with a shot from out front. And she will miss everything. Fannin, Perry, Mosley, Bridges, and who did I miss? Tucker. On the floor, the same five that began the ball game, beginning half number 2. And looking at the Coyote lineup, they've got the same 5 on the floor in half number 2 as began the game in half 1 as well. And that is Anderson, Arnold, Sullivan, Phillips, and Robinson. Fannin too strong with a 3. Has taken a couple of threes in the second half. One short, the other long. That is Tucker. Got the look, couldn't get it to drop. Sullivan with the rebound. Off on the 3 try by Adjusim. And that will go off of Bridges and belong to the Coyotes. Coyotes just exploded for 29 in the first quarter. And then were held to 5 in the second. Southern Union held to 14 in the first. But explode for, 19 in quarter number 2? So I guess technically both teams have exploded and imploded in a given quarter. Phillips, a 61% free throw shooter, 11 points per contest. She'll go 1 of 2. Fannin sending into Mosley. Back around the horn. Tucker got the look, couldn't get it to fall. Rebounded by Robinson. I mentioned Robinson, the number 5 rebounder in the conference, averaging 7.5 per game. Sidestepping the defense, dropping it in for 2 is Tucker. And we've got a 35 all game. Rolled away from Arnold, picked up by Fannin. Off the glass, Bison with the lead. Hand it over to Anderson into the corner, a wide open Phillips. Off the mark, it is retrieved by Perry. Back it goes to Mosley, pulls up from outside of the paint. Phillips able to grab it, and Phillips fouled. That'll be Bridges charged with a personal. Griffin into the game, and Adjusim coming out for the Coyotes. I mentioned the Coyotes have fared fairly well here, 5-2 at home. On Thursdays, 2-3. It is the Bison who have struggled on the road with a 1-8 away from Wadley Mark. Haven't won a game against an Alabama team, an ACCC squad. And have only played once on Thursday and lost that. But tonight they're dead even at 37 in the third with the Coyotes. Griffin reaching in and committing the foul. Takarian Tucker, 58% free throw shooter. Right at 5.5 per game. Next game here happens on Monday. Gadsden State coming to town. That's an earlier start instead of a 5:30 for the ladies. It is a 2 p.m. beginning. And maybe good. Supposed to be some weather movement in that night. And I'm talking some weather that could be of the icy variety. Griffin with a miss on the three. Sullivan will tear down the board, turn around, and put it in. And between now and Monday, by the way, we're back to Americus, Georgia, where their last night, where the men and women of South Georgia Tech played last night. The ladies beat Central Georgia Tech, and the men lost to South Georgia State. So we're back there on Saturday as South Georgia Tech plays host to East Georgia State. Phillips trying to get the feed to Sullivan, a little short with a pass. Tucker's got it going the other way. Hardy missing on the three. Sullivan with yet another rebound. Arnold, one of the few returners from last year's team. With it out front, works it to the left side. Just a great pass to Sullivan. Sullivan with the finish. Hardy to Wilcher. Wilcher just inside the arc. Long two, not there. Robinson giving it to Phillips. Fed down to Robinson. And she will draw the foul. And we have gotten this game to the media timeout. First one in the second half. Coyotes up by 2. Just about all white. Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Fans of the furry variety here in the house tonight. Better not let my wife see that. She will be taking her little furry daughter with her everywhere, basketball games included. Coyotes at one point had a 14-point lead. It has diminished to 3. And at one point, in both the first and second half, Bison with the advantage. Takira Tucker trying to trim this to a 1-point game. And Shuil hitting both. In play to Arnold. And that will go out off Tucker. And stay Coyote basketball. Back over to Adjusum. Arnold again to Adjusum. Working it to the Coyote into the floor. Swing pass to Robinson. Robinson shoving with a couple of hands. Sullivan with a board. Kicks it over to Adjusum. Launches the 3. And that'll go off Griffin and out of bounds. Coyotes hanging on to a 1-point lead. Fannin able to track it down in the corner. Hardy into the paint, lost it. Arnold's got it. Bison trying to get it back, won't. Adjusum. Over to Griffin and then back to Adjusum. Arnold with a lob to Robinson. Opposite corner, Adjusum. And she'll hit the 3. That's what's been missing since the opening stanza. Coyotes just set the world on fire with the 3s. And then the Bison in the second began to defend more tightly the 3s. And worked their way back into the game. Adjusum. Sullivan kicking it back to Robinson. And it's Arnold launching the 3-ball. She'll do the save. Coyotes working on that formula that built a 14-point lead in the first quarter. Off the glass for 2 by Brown. Faith Brown now back into the game for the Bison. Thrown away, trying to get it to Adjusum. Well, after that 29-point first, looked like the Coyotes were destined to have their best offensive performance of the night. 71 against Delgado. Worst night came against Shelton State when 36 were put on the board. Anderson to Robinson. And Robinson with the offensive. Best showing by Southern Union thus far this year. The 74 they scored against Huntington. Their worst came against the Panhandle Conference foe, Gulf Coast. Commodores holding the Bison to 29. Bridges back into the game, misses from down low. Phillips misfires. Mosley quickly to the other end. A half minute to go in the stanza. Off the rim with a 3 try from Mosley. Griffin with it. Gives it to Adjusum, and the Coyotes want the last shot of the quarter. There is literally, I don't know if it's tenths, it may be 100ths of a second difference between game and shot clock. Robinson, the putback, draws the foul as well. And that'll be it for quarter number 3. Coyotes working on rebuilding a 14-point lead. They are halfway there going into the fourth.
There once was a young coyote.
You're fired.
He found himself ill-suited for the jobs of the world. He struggled to compete in the corporate environment.
Yeah, this isn't working out.
And failed at the simplest of tasks.
I think I'm gonna have to let you go.
No matter how hard he tried, his coyote hands were just not meant for regular jobs.
That guy is fired.
Until one day, when he was hired for the perfect job. To become a mascot. And then he found the place where he could thrive. Find the place where you thrive at Coastal Alabama Community College.
Fourth quarter action underway. Tucker's got it out front. Gives over to Mosley. High off the glass. And I thought the shot clock ended before rim was touched, but apparently not. Phillips with the rebound. A little too strong for Robinson. Fannin with the loose ball. Trying to get it back over to Fannin. Fannin almost broke too far away to retrieve the pass, but able to get it over to Wiltshire and then eventually to Mosley. Mosley drawing the Adjusum foul. And we'll have Mosley at the stripe, a 67% free throw shooter. Next date for Southern Union against Lawson State at home on Monday. Coyotes have off until Monday, too. They will be home against Gadsden State. Fan to Sullivan, turn around, not there. Rebounded by Perry. Perry coming out of the corner, Mosley to Wilcher. That is Fannin. 3-ball, drops into the arms of Sullivan. And just some looking down low. Looking for Sullivan, but well covered. Give goes to Arnold. And then Griffin misfiring on the 3. And you will have a foul on 3. That being Mosley. So the Coyotes put it in play from the baseline. Might get this one wrapped up a little earlier than anticipated. If we do, I'm not sure if we still have a 7:30 start for the men. They may kick things off a little bit earlier, but no need to fret about that currently. Still got 7+ to go in this one. And still anybody's game as Wilcher drops in the 2. Phillips, the miss. And it's Evers with a rebound, and she'll stay 3 seconds in the lane. Bison basketball, inside 7 to go. Kicked by the Coyotes. Here comes Griffin back into the game for Coastal South. Arnold will come out in a 2-possession game with lots of time to go. Off the glass. Kicked out and retrieved by Perry. And you got a 3-second violation. Robinson coming back in. Evers will exit the game for the Coyotes. Coyotes not working with a particularly deep bench, just 2. Something Cedric Yelding has grown accustomed to. Had a small bench a year ago. And of course, everybody trying to get to Huntsville, Alabama in D1. D2 is trying to get to Montevallo. That is where the conference tournament will be held in March. And I've mentioned it previously, all of the state championship locations for the ACCC. Gotta love them. Albertville for volleyball. Montevallo and Alabama Huntsville for basketball. Baseball for D2 is going to be in Montgomery. Patterson Field for the most part, but at Riverwalk for the finish. The guys at Oxford. For the ladies, softball at Alabaster. Sullivan with the rebound gives to Arnold back into the game. Griffin for the corner. Tipped by Sullivan, grabbed in the corner by Mosley. Into the paint to Fannin. And Fannin banks it. Got the steal, got the lay in. And it's a 2-point game. And a timeout on the floor asked for by the Coyotes. And I think I heard them say we're going to turn this into a media timeout as well. 5:41 to play. Coyotes have been in 4 OT games thus far this year. Could we be headed that way again?
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama.
Back into the ladies' game, the men's game coming up. Jack Robertson Arena on the campus of Coastal Alabama South. And I feel certain we will see the namesake for the arena tonight, Jack Robertson. I don't know many times when I've been here that he wasn't. Griffin for three, and she'll hit her first of the night. Big and much needed three for the Coyotes. Given to Tucker. Trying to get it down low. Bridges lost it. Fannin gets it. And she will reciprocate. A three of her own on the Bison end of the floor. And we're back to a 2-point game. Anderson with it out front. Bison with a chance to tie or take the lead. They will tie it at 55. Stolen by Bridges, given to Mosley. And that will go out of bounds. Anderson tipping it that way. And we've got a timeout on the floor. This might be the media break. 4:16 to go. 55 each.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Foul called on Sullivan. After the inbounds to Bridges. And Bridges will break apart the 55 all tie. Bridges a very good free throw shooter, 78%. Freshman who got her 13th start of the year tonight. Doesn't miss often, does there. It is a 1-point game as we get close to 4 to play. Robinson getting the lead back to the Coyotes. And you got a walk by Bridges. In play to Arnold. Fed down to Sullivan. Got the bucket, drew the foul as well. And Sullivan heads to the stripe for the and one. Into the ball game is Talia Lee. Bridges. Shot blocked by Robinson. Bridges able to get it back. Mosley feeding to Lee. Fanning out front. Shot clock to 6. Lee with a miss on the 3 try. Rebounded by Phillips. And just 2 more Coyotes building a 6-point lead with 3 to go. And this time the foul will send Mosley to the strike. Still lots of time left in the game. Inside 3 to play. And there is a timeout on the floor. So with the break and with 3 left, we pause on JockJive. Down the floor to Phillips after the miss. And it is stolen away by Mosley. And it's Hardy with it, timeline right side. Back it goes to Wilcher. Opposite side, Mosley. Wilcher short on the 3 try. And there was a Sullivan foul on the Mosley effort to get the putback. So Mosley with an opportunity to try to cut into what is currently a 5-point game, 2:22 to play. Griffin coming back into the game for the Coyotes. And it is Phillips who will exit. Southern Union opened the season with 3 consecutive wins and have lost 11 of the last 12. Coach Elding pleading that was last touched by a Bison, but the official says it is Southern Union basketball. Both teams 0-2 in the conference, trying to pick up their first conference win. One will and one will stay winless in conference play. Sullivan ripping away the rebound and knocked to the hardwood. That is going to be Tucker charged with the foul. And I don't think we're quite there as far as shooting free throws. Both teams now with 4. So the next foul likely puts somebody at the line. Every possession big as we get inside 2. And there is a Hardy foul. So Anderson trying to stretch this out. It will stay a 2-possession game, but you got your ranges on these possessions. Kind of a short, mid, or long range. And that's got us the first free throw to the mid-range 2-possession. You can drop this in, turn it into a 6-point lead. It's your long-range 2-possession. And no, that's not official basketball vernacular. It's just the strange way that I think. Rebounded by Robinson. And there is a push by Mosley. And that should have us going to the other end of the floor. Well, the Robinson free throw now pushes it into a 3-possession game. Fannin gets fouled. Griffin did it. Fannin will shoot 3. And we'll have a chance to trim 6 off the lead. I don't think I mentioned in the second half, have I, that we want you as a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Here's the goal, 5,600. That's a short-term goal. But you got to make the short-term ones before you make the long-term ones. So if you will subscribe, we will just be delighted, plum tickled, as I mentioned in the first half, or tickled pink, whatever the appropriate titillation is. And it'll give you access to games, shows, interviews, clips. Plus, we got a lot of you decides, plays that were kind of iffy, went one way or the other. You can make your own decision. Timeout asked for by the Coyotes. A 5-point game with 1:24 to go.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
Got a jump ball, and the possession arrow will give it to Southern Union. In a 5-point game with 1:19 to play, I chuckle a bit. Cedric Yelding on his knees, head in hand. I don't think he wants another OT game. He wants this one to wrap up with a Coyote win in regulation, and Sullivan does her part, extends the lead to 7. Off the rim with a 3 try from Wiltshire. That is Fannin for 3, and she will hit it. It is a 4-point game. 50 seconds left. And we ain't done yet. Well, I said he would probably be here, and there he is. Namesake for the arena, Jack Robertson Arena. And there is Mr. Jack Robertson. Synonymous with what was once Faulkner State and the Sun Chiefs, and now Coastal South and the Coyotes. $50 seconds left. And a 4-point game. In play to Arnold. Anderson going to the stripe. And we'll shoot 2. And we've got that same scenario. It will stay a 2-possession game. But can Anderson stretch it out to the 6? Well, the Coyotes still might have their best offensive showing of the season despite a cold second. That is point number 70, and their most scored was 71 against Delgado. Another break with 37 seconds to go. I would assume that is members of maybe the baseball team who I think practiced. I don't think it was a game. I don't think it was a scrimmage when I got here this afternoon. I believe it was a practice. Here to support the basketball program. Oh, by the way, it's been a long fourth, so we're not going to have to worry about having extra time to warm up. Out of the corner, Fannin. Wilcher. She'll hit the three. You got a one-possession game. And Griffin gets knocked down. Big free throws for Griffin. She is a 75% free throw shooter. Would like to have both, needs one to go back out in front by 2 possessions. One of 2 for Griffin. Ball on the floor, and it last touched the Coyote before going out. So it stays Bison basketball in a 4-point game. No good with a 3 try from Perry. Robinson with the rebound. Anderson will get fouled, and the Coyotes can begin to breathe a sigh of relief. It appears they are on their way to breaking a 4-game losing streak, going to 1-2 in the conference, picking up their 6th home victory, evening their Thursday mark to 3-3. All of that should happen in the next 8 seconds. And by the way, despite that second quarter in which they got their first field goal with 2 minutes left in the half, still got their best offensive performance of the year. That is Wilcher off the rim, and that is your ball game. Coyotes, a 73-67 victor. And it feels good to get that one in the win column after about a month. Without a victory, they got one here. 73-67, your final score. First of 2, the men are about to take to the hardwood. Next, we'll have that one for you in right about 20 minutes. For all the folks with Coastal Alabama and JockJive, I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.